Welcome to the first episode of Olsem Wanem Season 10. I'm Florence John Duo. We now take you to Collingwood Bay in Tufi, Oro Province. The people in this area have been through a lot when it comes to land issues. They're now embarking on their conservation journey to have the 650,000 hectares of land to be declared a conservation or protected area. Papua New Guinea is home to highly unique marine life, plants and animals. PNG's forests provide habitat for over thousands of species of plants and animals, and the world's largest mangrove expanses can be found in PNG, according to Cool Earth. However, over the years, Papua New Guineans have been fighting in courts to retain their land from what they considered to be destructive developments in their areas. A classic example is the Collingwood Bay in Tufi, Oro Province.
This started with the 1998 case when individuals from Collingwood Bay conspired with so-called developers to come in and do oil palm. It all started off with that. So they got about 80,000 hectares of our land, our forest, and got the title over it. They were planning on clear fill in the whole forest for oil palm.
This has brought about many questions about the land laws and systems we have in PNG.
I have looked at the current land laws, especially the situation where they have created an ILG system and they're encouraging landowners to register their land under as incorporated land groups. So I have a problem with this. I think this system is a system that can be easily circumvented or manipulated or fraudulently abused. And in fact, I've got evidence of that. There are instances where land has been taken through false pretense by certain individuals and organizations who have created ILGs, who have created clans that don't exist. In the last term, we relied significantly on our systems, meaning the national government systems and the law. And I'm very glad to say that the law has always been on our side, on the side of the landowners. Unfortunately, we have seen lack of cooperation from the government departments. The government departments seem more interested in facilitating illegal activities rather than in doing things that are beneficial for their people. Well, we've won court cases with our people and we've stopped illegal logging in the Collingwood Bay area. We've created a land enforcement unit for the provincial government so that it is a mobile unit on standby to assist the people. And this time we're not going to be, as friendly or diplomatic as we were in the last few years. If we see people who are turning up illegally to do things that aren't right, we are going to physically deal with them. Myself, my people, my provincial government, we are all going to deal with them physically to protect what is ours and our children's and our future.
For the Collingwood Bay case, the people have won court cases and are now taking steps to ensure that their land is protected.
About 4.5 years ago, the people from Collingwood Bay took the issue of the illegal logging under the SABL to court, and that was the last court case, and they won the court case. The court decided that the land was customary and it squashed the orders of the previous decision. So the people, some of the educated Collingwood Bay leaders that lived in Mosby came down to Collingwood Bay to tell the people about the good news. So I followed them down with them, and as I was going through all the villages, at the same stories that now they won the court case, they need to now take action and protect their land and the forest from further destructive development. So that's when we got in touch with our donor, the Rainforest Foundation of Norway, that Collingwood Bay people wanted assistance from conservation NGOs. And I put a report together with my team on what we saw and what possible support we can give to the Collingwood people. And that's when our donor, the Rainforest Foundation, became interested. So when they indicated their willingness to support us financially, we conducted 2 scoping visits by my team down to Collingwood Bay. We went to all the villages here, asking them questions about their interest, and they express grave concern about the illegal logging and all the other issues. And so, as a result of two scoping visits, we then decided to have two community consultative forums. So the last consultative forum in 2016, December, that's when they made a decision that they want to go in support with partners with Melanesians to do conservation and sustainable development programs. And so with that consent by the 9 tribal chiefs and the communities, including the women.
The Collingwood Bay area, both terrestrial and marine, adds up to over 600,000 hectares, and local custodian is key to its protection. Oro Governor Gary Jufa is encouraging and supporting his people to work in partnership with the Partners with Melanesians, or PWM, to network and make their conservation dream a reality.
I want to tell our people that, they have opportunities to participate, and they can't just wait for their elected councillors or council presidents or open members or governors, but they've got to look at how they can contribute as well. They've got a lot of educated people who live in Port Moresby and even around the world in other parts of the country. How can they all network and work together to bring back the developments that a community needs?
You're watching Olsem Wanem. The Partners with Melanesians, or PWM team, are working closely with the people of Collingwood Bay to facilitate and journey with them to reach their conservation dream. Partners with Melanesians, or PWM, is a national, not-for-profit, non-government organization working on conservation and community development in rural areas of Papua New Guinea. After the people won the court case, PWM was invited to facilitate and help the Collingwood Bay people to protect their vast land area.
The people were struggling over 20 years in court. So they battled court after court, court after court. They won, the loggers come back, they try to log the area again, but in 2014 it was the Supreme Court decision that the case was won by the landowners of Collingwood Bay. In 2015, prior to 2014, PWM's presence was already in Collingwood Bay. We started off in Uyaku and then in Ganjiga.
After various awareness workshops and consultative forums, some issues faced by the locals were identified.
The awareness is all about how Partners with Melanesians and Collingwood Bay people will work together, because they have agreed that they want to have their area as a conservation area or protected area, to block off any industrial activities like logging, industrial logging, mining, palm oil. So that is the wish of the people now of Collingwood Bay people. So who is going to assist them and who is going to facilitate this process? They have decided to work together with Partners with Melanesians to facilitate the process until the area is declared as a conservation or protected area.
Those issues are one, there is still an internal dispute amongst the Mysin. There's a piece of land in the Mysin area that was subject to SABL, and so that created a problem amongst the Mysin, so that's one issue. The other issue is the Wanigala issue, where existing SABL is this conflict between the different clans in the Wanigala area. And then we also need to have a vehicle that Partners with Melanesians can work with, meaning a CBO, a community-based organization. There are existing organizations already in place like OICAD and MICAD, but the elders at the last consultative forum made it very clear that they would prefer to work with a new CBO that Partners supports and is composed of new people with clean records. So as a result of that, the new CBO that will work in partnership with partners with Melanesians, encompassing the 5 tribal zones, is now named as Collingwood Bay Conservation Foundation.
All 9 tribes from Kewansasap to Siu have come to a consensus to take on this conservation journey.
I would think partners from bottom of my heart, they've done, even though in the beginning there were criticisms. People back at home didn't want partnership. There were arguments, there were name calling, and people didn't want partners. But we made a stand that if we don't do anything now, they are going to continue bothering us. So partners are here. We need to take that. It is an opportunity for us to do something to protect our land so that we don't get this. And we want to say thank you, partners. All right? We are there to support you. We will work with you. Right? All we demand from you is that let's work in consultation. Let's work together. Let's be transparent.
PWM believes in partnership, hence the various scopes, awareness and forums to ensure everyone participates and have a say in the development process. In addition to all this, PWM recently held a strategic planning workshop in Marasa village in the Collingwood Bay area.
Because we have established the Collingwood Bay Conservation Foundation, the local CBO that work together with partners with Melanesians, we decided to go for a strategic planning. The organization or the stakeholder partner, local CBO, must have a direction where they want to go. So they should have a vision and a mission and objectives and what is the real purpose of them being established as a CBO and work together with partners with Melanesians.
The program activities that we will start implementing in 2019, and the first foremost is to secure the boundary. The perimeter of the 650,000 hectares will be mapped using our community mapping teams and the local leaders. And then once that is done, then we will then do a full three-dimensional mapping, 3D-dimensional model mapping of the entire 650,000 hectares at 10,000 scale. And then we will then submit that against to the SEPA and also to the Oro Provincial government. And then we already been informed by the Governor, Honorable Gary Jufa, that partners will help the Oro Provincial government to develop the new Oro Provincial Forest Management Plan. And that is something that we will take on board seriously to help the Governor Jufa because the Collingwood Bay area is a very important area. It's got a lot of potential for logging development, and logging, the people have already made it very clear that they will not allow logging here. So we will have that inserted into the Oro Provincial Forest Management Plan. And so we looking forward to some good outcome from the Collingwood Bay people.
Welcome back to the program. The Collingwood Bay participants who took part in the week-long strategic planning workshop in Maras, Tufi, have expressed that this workshop has helped to build their local capacity and they're ready to take their conservation journey head-on.
Now this workshop where me attending and give good knowledge, good understanding of how me can manage resources blom also give me sawelo look out me play at inside lo display time Olsem.
The workshop we are having today is a very big and it's a great help to us. I believe when we go back we will tend to be good leaders to teach our young people, our youths, to look after our land.
The other thing that we learned that we should be thankful of this partnership with Melanesia and also with this Norway rainforest. Those are the ones to help us to secure our land and what are the things that they are providing us to help us to go forward with these activities we are doing now. So we're more grateful and thankful to those ones who are helping.
First place when we were asked, there was awareness done on the by CBW about the conserving the area, Collingwood Bay. all of us had doubt, what does it mean when they conserve our area? But attending the conference, we now realize that it's good for us to fence our area, so we have enough resources for our future generation, our young children that are coming up to use our forest for their future use. So like, we don't allow any illegal people coming in. We ourselves have to get up and use that area for a sustainable living.
I'm really glad because their presentation is from a different angle, which is really opening up our understanding of what really conservation is all about.
From the feedback I'm getting, they are very, very eager to get going. In fact, they're saying that once we leave from here, we're going to start making awareness on what we learned back in our communities. So those that are on the border, on the fence, can then be brought in. And I try to bring people who were critics of this. I want to bring them in. And there were some people who were critics of what we're trying to do. They are here now, and they have changed their mindset and what we are trying to do. So this self has brought people together. It has also changed other individuals' views about conservation, and they've learned so much. And I'm very happy and I'm excited, and I'd like to maintain this momentum going forward.
The week-long strategic planning workshop was officially launched by Oro Governor Gary Jufa, who arrived at Marasa village in true Marasa welcome reception by the locals. Governor Jufa encouraged the Collingwood Bay people to partake in this process and not be spectators, as what they decide now and achieve will be for their own benefit.
I'm proud of what Partners of Melanesia are doing, and I stand with them. And we're looking at how we can interact with global partners who wish to conserve forests and who wish to be able to, assist us in development projects. How do we find a way forward where everyone benefits? The world benefits, the people benefit, the province benefits, the country benefits.
The workshop was also conducted to get the locals to understand their own issues and situations within their communities, and for the workshop facilitators to help them identify solutions to these issues, and those solutions become part of their plan of action to resolve the identified issues.
For me, being a development worker and working with NGO and CBOs, I see the strategic planning as an important tool for any organization at the community level to enable them to participate as an organization in the formal sector, especially to do with the government and to do with donor and to do with other CBOs as a partner. So when I was asked to do this, I see the benefits in terms of Collingwood Bay Conservation Foundation having a strategic plan would enable them to have capacity in terms of key personnel who would actually run with this vision to conserve the area for their people, and secondly for them to have a management system and process in place to enable the operationalization of the Collingwood Bay Conservation Foundation. And thirdly, it gives them the platform to have the infrastructure in terms of office, if they have a dinghy, if they have a vehicle, that makes a CBO operational.
One of the facilitators of the workshop, John Erico, emphasized that local custodian is key to land protection.
I think the big thing that I need to stress here is in Papua New Guinea, the people must continue to own the land. At the moment, in the country, it's only 10% of the population that is employed. And so only 10% is supporting the economy. and supporting the tax regime, which is supporting the development of the country. But the 90% of the people are actually subsidizing the economy of the country, because they are not employed by the government or public sector, but they are subsidized by owning their own land and using the natural resources. So they don't depend on the government, but they are supporting the economy by the way they subsist on the land.
Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. The 9 tribes of Collingwood Bay in Tufi, Oro Province are optimistic that their land and marine areas will be conserved and protected. These are what some had to say to show their solidarity and determination to achieving their conservation dream. The locals expressed to Olsem Wanem that conservation is not a new thing for them, as traditional conservation methods have been used for generations. They, however, need their vast terrestrial and marine boundaries to be declared a conservation area to stop the exploitation of their land and marine life.
If we get a conservation deed, which we believe we are safe from destructive logging operation, mining operations, so we feel safe to do our own things sustainably. I mean, because we are covered by this conservation deed or conservation area. So I personally, I feel I'm secured. I can do whatever I want on my land without fear of logging operations and mining operations. We are really glad that partners with Melanesia are helping us with this Collingwood Bay Conservation Foundation.
I feel that conserving our environment and our forest, we will have enough land spacing, we have fresh water coming, we have enough fish, especially marine side of it. We see that the number of fish are decreasing because there's illegal people coming in doing fishery from Collingwood Bay area. They will come and fish there, so that decreases the number of fish in the reefs. So once we conserve it, that will guarantee us that we don't allow unnecessary people to come and fish in our zone. So it's protected for us.
Suppose this la place emi declare hablo conservation. Mi pla by God this la freedom, this la right lo move around walk on by something. We at the same time to by pla God right lo exercise him rights belum pla lo him own decisions belum pla. Because now yet decisions that all man walk him according lo notice na survey belum pla online lo place as place threat. All man usat stop lo towns na cities all walk him this la. So right now mi ba hamamas true suppose this la place don't blame stop hananit lo conservation.
80% of Papua New Guinea's population are still directly dependent on the natural environment for their livelihoods.
For conservation purposes, I believe it's the right thing to do, to conserve our forests, because it's these forests that give us our home. We live off this forest, it provides sustenance for us, and it helps us survive and thrive during very difficult times without government services. Even at least the forests sustain us, just as the ocean sustain us, as is the case here for the people of Collingwood Bay, who are a coastal people. But we also have to look at alternatives. How can we use this situation in such a way that the people can derive some benefit? And we are looking at carbon trade, we are looking at sustainable green development initiatives, we're looking at how we can use the situation whereby the world is very concerned about forests, global warming and such, and how can we find solutions in there that can benefit our people.
PWM Executive Director Ken Mondiai reiterated that they will facilitate this process in partnership with the locals of Collingwood Bay, the Oro Provincial Government and other partners to have Collingwood Bay area protected from all harmful developments.
I think during the SWOT process that's undertaken here at Maras, the people are now clearly identifying the threats to the forest and the seascape and marine environment, plus many other things in the community. So with this identification of the threats, this is clear. Partners with Melanesians' role is to have the area protected under conservation policies and legislation that the government of Papua New Guinea is already in place. We've already made it very clear to them over the last two consultative forums that partners' role will be only to facilitate and to support you, and also to link up with other new partners like new donors, new NGO partners that are already established in PNG, or if we can also explore other opportunity to bring in new international partners. We have already done that with one international NGO that's based in the UK that will be looking at the marine environment here, because partners with Melanesians, our speciality is only on land-based environmental issues, and so the new NGO that we have hooked up with is Blue Ventures. They are more specialized in marine, and so hopefully if things work out, they will come on board and partner with us.
And that's all for now on Olsem Wanem. Thank you to all who have participated in this episode. A friendly reminder that if you have any comments, stories, or questions, please send us an email via the address now showing on your screen, or visit our Olsem Wanem Facebook page. Until then, I'm Florence John Duo. Thank you for watching and have a pleasant evening.